Hi everyone, my name is Olivia Whitaker. I'm a soon-to-be third year from New Jersey, majoring in communication studies and media production, and I just got back from a 4-week program studying abroad in Florence, Italy with the Lorenzo de' Medici School. And I always knew that if I studied abroad I'd want to go to Florence because I do speak a little Italian. I have Italian heritage and family that lives all over Italy actually. And when I found the LDM program, the 4-week traditional summer program, I knew it fit both my personal and my academic needs, and I had a fantastic time, and I'm so excited to be talking about it in this video. So on a typical day, I would probably wake up, I would have breakfast in my Airbnb. I opted to live in an Airbnb instead of the provided LDM housing. This worked out well for me because I saved some money and I was able to have my own space. However, there were some times where the Wi-Fi didn't work or the air conditioning went out and it was really hot. And I know people who did stay in LDM housing who were happy with it. So I would just recommend to anyone, especially if you're staying somewhere for a shorter amount of time, like maybe a 4-week study abroad program, just look into your options. You might be able to find something that saves you money or gives you some more privacy or meets your needs better than the provided housing. I would wake up in my Airbnb and have breakfast either there, or I would go out and get it at a cafe. I would head off to my first class, which was Italian, which I'll talk a little bit about later. And I would go be there for a 4-hour class with a little break in the middle. Then I would rush off and have a quick lunch and head across the city for my second class, which was travel writing. And I was there for a couple more hours, and then I would come home. Usually I was so exhausted that I would take a nap, but then I would try and get back out and walk around the city. I did so much walking. Almost every day I would walk a minimum of 5 miles, usually more, especially if I had errands to run or something like that. But you don't even notice. It's similar to being in Boston, where it's a very walkable city. On my long weekends, I would do some more sightseeing. I took a day trip to Rome. I took a weekend trip to the Amalfi Coast. I really recommend doing either of those things if you're in Florence, even for a short amount of time, because they're super easy to do and definitely worth it. I would recommend looking into student tour groups. They kind of seem silly and they're not cheap, but for what you get, they're definitely worth it. It's really hard to get to certain places. The Amalfi Coast is hard to get to if you don't have a car. They make it easier for you because they provide transportation. I would also look into sightseeing buses. If you're on a day trip to a city, you can hop on and hop off for a certain price, and that'll allow you to see a lot of things in one day. That's one of the things that I regret, is not doing that in Rome, because instead I walked like 13 miles in brutal heat. Overall, I would say if you're studying abroad on a 4-week program, try and balance your time in the city and traveling around. It's really tempting, especially if you're studying in Europe. There's so many places to possibly go. They're just a quick plane ride or a train ride away, but you want to make sure you enjoy your time in your host city. Obviously you picked it for a reason. That was something that was really hard for me because I only had 4 weekends and I wanted to do and see so much, but it's important to find a balance between traveling and exploring your temporary home. The main thing that I learned while I was abroad was just how much I love speaking Italian. I took my Italian class in the morning. I learned so much. I cannot thank my professors enough. Daniela and Maria Angela, love them. I learned so much in just 1 month practicing and speaking to people on the street or restaurants or even my family that I spent time with, and that was really the greatest experience. That I really got everything I wanted out of that experience. I was able to practice and learn so much in just 1 month. If you're not taking a language, at least take a course that's related to the culture. At least take a course on the mafia or art history or architecture or food and nutrition. There's so much that you can learn that's specific about the place that you're studying in. I recommend that anyone who's considering studying abroad consider doing a summer program. It doesn't have to be a whole semester. To me, a whole semester felt like such a huge commitment, and I was afraid I wouldn't be able to fit it into such a busy northeastern life. And instead, I was able to find a 4-week program that really fit my needs. So if you have any questions, the GEO office is fantastic and they can really help you figure out what program is right for you. And I really recommend LDM in Florence in general. Florence is an amazing city. It's very similar to Boston. It's central. You can get around all of Europe, you can get around all of Italy, and it's a quiet city but still a fun city. Fantastic food and beautiful buildings and lots of history, and I can't recommend going there enough. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions, you can reach me at this social media down here. And hopefully when you study abroad, you have as amazing of a time as I did.